Hey, how y'all doing? Uh, Welcome back to Shop Talk with Bub. I'm Bub, and this here's my shop. And as promised, I'm going to introduce you to my latest project. This is a 1967 Pontiac Firebird with a V8 326 engine, turbo hydromatic 300 two-speed automatic transmission, and a standard rear. And I'm going to tell you a little backstory. So, back in 2016, I think it was 16, might have been 17, I think 16, Thanksgiving morning, I got a buddy that lives down the road. I've known him all my life. In fact, his mom still lives 3 doors down. He lives across the way a couple miles. Said he had a project that he wanted to get rid of if I was interested. Told me all about it. Apparently it was a father and son project. When his son was 16 or 17, they got this car. They started working on it. They did all the brakes, lines, wheel cylinders, master cylinder, put new tires on it, tuned it up, major tune-up, plugs, wires, cap, rotor, points, condenser, hoses, belts, the whole 9 yards. Everything was, they were driving it. Then they decided they wanted to do the body work. And the body was in pretty rough shape. So they stripped all the emblems, the bumper, the grill, everything off the outside they could take off, they took off. And they were going to do the body work. Well, time went on. It got moved out of the garage. Son went off to college. It got stuck in the backyard underneath one of those hoopty shed things that you get from, like the garden center or something, which didn't last long. It wound up weathered, blown away. So they taped the first blue tarp on with duct tape, trying to protect it. Son graduates, winds up getting married. Another blue tarp goes on, duct tape down. Son has children. Well, and the whole time this was going on, we're talking from high school to college to married, the kids. The father and son project was sitting right in front of the kitchen window where the real boss of the house was looking at it every day. And I'm guessing she said, "Hey, this has got to go." That's where I came in. He's a busy guy. He told me about it, gave me a very good description, told me what he wanted. I grabbed my helpers, my son-in-law, WR3, and my grandson, WR4. My son, my grandson, WR4. And we went there Thanksgiving morning, prepared to bring it home. And I didn't even argue the price. As soon as I saw it, I said, "I want it. We're taking it home." And my plan was just knock the ugly off of it, get it running and driving, and flip it. Another bug greasy flip, as it were. And usually Fridays after Thanksgiving is the day I put up the outside Christmas lights. So I got started early because I wanted to mess with this. And I'm putting lights up, come down, got a battery in it, and a crank, but no fire. So did some more lights, came back, followed the points, got spark, went back, did some more decorating, come back, dumped some gas in it. She fired right up. I couldn't believe it. Didn't run good, but it ran. It had about a quarter tank of old gas in it, and it stunk to high heaven. So my plan was to let it run a while, finish up my lights, whatnot. Come back, she's still running. Checked all the fluids, everything was good. Put it in gear, backed up, put it forward, went forward, drove it up and down the lane a couple times, took it out on the road, went around the block. It ran, it drove, it stopped, starts. Now the time to knock the ugly off. My original plan was to put the bumpers and the trim and all that back on it and flip it. So I was done with the outside decorating. Still had some good daylight. It was a nice day. So So I scrubbed the barnacles off of it. It was a yellow color. I forget what the meadow mist or something like that was the factory color with a brown pinstripe. I didn't like it, but you know, I wasn't keeping it. So it actually was looking pretty good, and that was the end of the day. Friday, I had my neighbor was going to come over and help me put the bumpers back on, and I figured by Monday she was going on market. Well, my bride, my young, beautiful, loving, caring, understanding bride, came out Saturday morning, which she always does, to check out my latest inquiry. And as normal, I figured I'd get okay, bye, see you later. Well, she fell in love with it. As soon as she saw it, her face just lit up. Oh, I like that car. That's a cool car. I said, well, thanks, honey. She goes, what are you going to do? You're not going to sell this, are you? And I said, yes. She said, oh, this is a nice, man, you ought to keep this one. I like this car. I said, would you like to have it? She goes, absolutely, but I don't want it looking like this. I want it pretty and shiny. So instead of putting the bumpers on, we started tearing it apart. And honestly, by Monday morning, it was completely disassembled and the body was on a rotisserie. I media blasted the body, most of the parts. This is a replacement fender, replacement hood. The hood was too far gone. The fender was way too gone. Everything else I patched in, rebuilt the engine, the transmission, the differential, drive shaft, suspension, the brakes. I put four-wheel disc brakes on it. It might be a 1967, but it will drive, handle, and stop like a 2000 car, because I knew my wife was going to be driving it, and she was going to be hauling my grandkids around in it. So things progressed, and then the Wuhan hit, and the supply chain. I couldn't get parts. I was so close, couldn't get any parts. It was depressing, and everybody's locked down, stay in your basement. Well, as it turned out, I was essential, so I was working. So it got sat over here, covered up, and basically forgotten about for the last couple, 3 years. So it's back in the shop. I got it in last Sunday. I haven't really had a chance to do anything on it this week. Yesterday, Saturday, I did manage to get the wheel well trim on the back. That was pretty easy because there was a lip here that I could clamp it to, and the front I'm not so lucky, so I need an extra pair of hands. My buddy's supposed to stop by today, maybe, if he can, and help me get the front ones on. But I'm so close. Like I said, it hadn't ran in 3 years, so the gas in it is puke. But I got two buddies that live up PA, and there's a gas station up there that sells gas that has no ethanol in it. So my plan is to go up there with a couple cans, and get some real gas, clean this out, get it running, get it tuned. I also need mufflers. I just got a short piece of pipe on there, so I need to get a couple mufflers thing on it, because it sounds cool the first couple minutes you hear it running, but if you're trying to work on it, it's deafening. So I need to quiet it down a little bit, and then I need to get a top. Also, I need to get the front of the line and go over everything. I need to tighten, check. I don't really remember where I left off, and I'm sure there's going to be a couple kinks that need to be fixed. So I'm going to pick you up, walk you around, give you the grand tour. Now, there is no video of it from the time I drug it home till now, but there's a lot of photographs. And hopefully, with the help of my grandson, WR4, we're going to give you a couple before and after shots as we're going along. Today, this is just a shop talk. Sorry, Dave. But I'm going to pick you up, walk you around, show you what we got, and I'll keep rambling, and hopefully you'll be entertained. All right, ready to take a ride or a walk? Let me lower it down a little bit so you can see the engine part. Well, let me walk you around first. Let's do that. All right, easy now. Like I said, the hood, you'll see that a little better, but there's hood scoops up there, and you sharp viewers know in 1967 that didn't have hood scoops. That's a 69 hood that I put on it just to make it look cool, because I like it. But it had quite an extensive amount of body damage, floors being a convertible and all, and sitting under a blue tarp for God knows how many years. Trying to walk slowly so you don't get seasick. But there's the fender well chrome that I put on yesterday. And yeah, you see the fins? Are you really sharp-eyed guys out there? That's a 69 Camaro. Pontiac had the gills before Chevrolet did. And these quarter panels and door panels and fenders are all interchangeable with the Camaro. Like I said, I put four-wheel disc brakes on it, and I couldn't use the factory 14-inch wheels, so they're 15s. My buddy was going to sell me a set of Pontiac Rally wheels, but due to the pandemic again, he didn't buy wheels, so I didn't get wheels. So these chrome reverse wheels were cheaper than a factory steel wheel. So, you know me, being cheap. All right, let me lower it down so you can see the engine. Let's walk over this way. Now, it's been sitting since the beginning of the pandemic. Really nothing had been done. We got it over into the pay bay last Sunday, and really hadn't had a chance this week to do anything. I'll tell you what, the pollen has been driving me wackadoo. You got to turn your wipers on in the morning just so you can see out of the windshield because of the stinking pollen. Isn't that a good-looking hood? Them hood scoops just make it, man. Like I said, this car went on a rotisserie. Everything got painted inside out. Every nut and bolt was touched and painted. That's my 326, yes, 326 Pontiac engine with a 4-barrel. It's got power steering, power brakes. The car has been, like I said, on a rotisserie, so every inch of the body has been touched. The underside is just as good looking as the top side. Now, when I first painted this, I'm no painter, I'm no body man. I'll be the first one to say that. I wanted to paint it Marina Blue, which was a factory color. I went to the paint store with some paint codes. The kid behind the counter in his computer said, "Oh, he's got nothing Marina Blue." So I said, "You got one of them things you got at Home Depot? You're like blip blip." Oh yeah. So I went out to the back of my truck and I got a natural light beer can, and there's a dark blue, a light blue stripe on it. I said, "I want the light blue." Well, this turned out to be electric blue metallic, and it's a factory Honda color, and it's single stage. So I painted the firewall underneath, under the hood, under the deck lid, cut it all in around the wheel wells, the doors, everything like that. Put it together and then painted the outside, and it looked like crap. Under the hood and the deck lid and underneath, it looked good, but for some reason on the body, it just didn't look good. It looked like it had runs in it, but it didn't. So I got a buddy of mine that's a professional body and fender man painter, got his own shop, got in to look at it. He goes, oh, the paint's what he call modeling. I ain't never heard of that. Then again, who the hell am I? He said the metallic in it is attracted to itself, so it wants to bunch up. Instead of spreading out, it bunches up. He says you should have got base coat, clear coat. Well, I couldn't afford that, plain and simple. That was much more expensive. And he goes, well, we can sand it and I'll repaint it for you. It's tricky. And I'm like, okay, well, can you put a red pinstripe on it while you got it? Red? What? No, you don't want a red pinstripe. We'll put a black pinstripe or white or silver. No, I want a red one. He goes, that's going to look like shit. I said, no, it ain't. It's going to look good. He goes, no. So anyway, make a long story short, he put the red pinstripe on it. And the reason why I wanted a red pinstripe is because at that time, I thought I was getting the rally wheels, which have that little triangle like arrowhead, which is red. The Phoenix Bird is red. The Pontiac in the grill is red. The Pontiac on the back half is red. And after it was all said and done, he goes, you had the eye on that. That red stripe really sends this thing off. And I would have loved to put red striped tires on it, but couldn't afford them either. All right, well, anyway, enough rambling on. Let me show you the other side real quick. Maybe my buddy will get here and we can get these front fender well trim on. Let me put the hood down. Don't want to scratch it. Thought about painting these inserts red, but I thought, nah, that'd be a little too much. Oh, let me show you the inside. Why it's down close to the ground. Whoop, look out, easy. Sorry. Oh, hold on. A while since that door's been open. New carpet. That's the original seats, original door panels, original hardware. The dash was painted. The dash pad was replaced. But all the interior was just cleaned, all new rubber. Still missing a top. Now that's a story in itself as well. I did change the steering wheel out. The wife liked that one. The original was basically just a metal tube. All the plastic had fell off of it. So let me close this up, lift it up. The top. As I was saying, 3 years ago, there was an old guy I met, talked to. I had never met him in person. Talked to him on the phone. His name was Jim, and he did convertible tops, vinyl tops, upholstery work. And he was retired, and he lived just over the county line, 15, 20 minutes from here. And I talked to him several times on the phone. He said that he would enjoy putting the top on for me. He was going to come over and measure everything up and get a material list together of what he needed. And I give him a deposit, and he was going to put the top on for me. Now, this all took place like a week before they put the shutdown in effect. Well, when that happened, nobody was coming out of their house. There was no sense calling anybody. So time went by. It was finally, things got loosened up. So I called Mr. Jim, left a message. Never heard nothing back from him. Called him again. Still didn't hear anything back from him. Called him a third time. I said, Mr. Jim, I understand with the, past circumstances and whatnot that you might not want to do this now. And I perfectly understand. You're not going to break my heart. But please give me a call. Let me know one way or another what's going on. So a couple days later, I got a phone call. I don't know if it was from his wife or his daughter. but he had passed away. Oh, I was brokenhearted. I felt so sorry for his family. So, make a long story short, there, I didn't get my top put on. And from the few people that I've talked to, I got to take it to a shop, and they want it tagged and insured. I can trailer it there, but they want it tagged and insured. Why? I'm assuming liability reasons. So that's what's going on with the top right now. Now you guys might be able to help me out. If you know, or if you guys, any of you, do convertible tops or know someone that does convertible tops, leave me know. Drop me a line, comment. Yeah, you never know. Out of my 64 subscribers, there might be a convertible top guy out there. Who knows? All right, let me take it up. Let's take a peek underneath. Here we go. All right. Quick peek under here. There's that new fender well trim. Got it all by myself. New tank, new fuel lines, new brake lines. Like I said, the rear was going through, new carrier bearings, new axle bearings, seals, leaf springs, shackle bushings, all brand spanking new. Shocks, of course. Mercy brake cables, connectors, new U-joints in the drive shaft. Everything was painted, and everything was texture painted underneath here as well. Give it a little protection from the rocks and whatnot. Subframe was out. It was all sandblasted, painted. There's my little short piece of exhaust pipe. Transmission all rebuilt, painted. Beautiful, pretty. I don't know if you can see it in there very well. Then the engine. Let me come up here and turn around. Everything shiny, painted. Well, a lot of cobwebs though. New tie rod ends, inner and outer, lower control arm bushings, ball joints, adjusters. Like I said, I wanted this thing to work as good as a brand new car, but look like what it was. You can see everything's all painted up underneath there. I did a lot of work on this thing. It was quite extensive. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do it, like I said, my wife really liked the car, and she doesn't usually get too enthused over my junk that I drag home, but when she lit up when she saw this car, it was, I've been married a long time. My daughters are both grown women with kids, and I wanted to do something nice for my wife. I could buy her rings and jewelry, but she's not really interested in that. She's not a jewelry flashy person. So other than providing her with a nice home and warm place, when she got excited about this car, I figured I'm going the extra mile here. And as it turns out, she had never had a car registered to her. Before we were married, she was always driving her dad's cars. And then when her and I got married, she was driving my cars, basically. So she never had a car she could say, this is mine, it's registered to me, it's titled to me. So this is her car, it's registered to her, and we nicknamed the project Misfire. She's gotten a nickname from the kids over the years as Killer Chick, and she don't take no shit. She's only about this tall, weighs about 99 pounds, dripping wet, but she can throw my fat ass around pretty good. She's the boss, that's for dang sure. So we figured Misfire would be a firebird, a good appropriate name. Hopefully one day when it's all said and done and running and driving, I can get the pinstripe guy down here to put Killer Chick on the door and Misfire across the back. But hopefully you'll be able to see what we do to get it running, get it finished, and get my grandson to put some project pictures in there as it went along, and hopefully it'll be interesting to you. Again, if you know or you do convertible tops, please contact me. If you know somebody that does, contact me, leave me a number. Greatly appreciate it. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Thanks all 64 of my subscribers, especially the early ones that have been putting up with shenanigans for a couple years now. Thank you again. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.